you doing? Who wants to start?
Well, Tom, how hurt are you by just what transpired in the last week with Antonio Brown, for a guy that's went out of his way to bring him here, to do everything you can for him, to see what has transpired with Antonio Brown?
I think there's a lot of personal, obviously, feelings. I don't think this is really a week to discuss it, though. So, I'm just going to do the best I can do as quarterback of the team and try to put together a great week, finish strong. You just always deal with different things over the course of the season. That's what we're doing this week.
As a quarterback, are you aware of who's targeted and how many times? Like there was apparently BA said that he was upset at halftime about his lack of targets. I mean, do you even know who's getting the ball? Do you keep that in your mind? Did you feel like he wasn't part of it?
I think you'd always like to target. You want to get everybody involved, obviously, and I think the receiver position is always they're a long ways from the football, when you stand out there. So as a quarterback, you obviously do the best you could do. You try to read the coverage and try to find the open guy, and you realize that guys are going to be open, and unfortunately you don't get it sometimes, and other times, you make bad reads and you make bad throws, and it's just part of playing football, playing quarterback.
How aware are you in game of guys that may become injured? Maybe not the Cardoffs necessarily, but in this case, Antonio's alleging that he was too hurt to play on an injured ankle. So when you're in the midst of the game, how aware of that are you?
I'm just thinking about my job, trying to do the best I could do.
Tom, you guys were able to rally back from 14 down and win a game Sunday with all this happening. How well can this team get past this and focus on Sunday and beyond?
Like I said, I think every year you have different challenges and adversities, and I think the point is no 2 years are ever the same. And, as much as you would love to think, hey, let's just do it like we did last year, it never is the case, and you got to work differently. And, we've had a lot of different injuries this year at defense, some on offense, guys in and out, and you just try to figure out different formulas to win each week. So this is a unique week, it's last week of the year, but different guys are kind of stepping into different roles and doing the best job they possibly can.
What has allowed Cyril Grayson to step in and be a guy that you can count on in a lot of these key situations despite not having a lot of experience?
He's made the most of his opportunity, and I think that, it started last year. He did some good things for the team, and then, continued in the off season, and then in training camp, and really got a shot, made some plays in the New Orleans game, and it just has kind of kept it up. So, with Chris going down, obviously losing Antonio, it's just different guys are going to have to step into those roles and do a great job. And those are big shoes to fill because those are really good players. But we're going to do everything we can to get the job done.
This is the first year with that extra game. You've been outspoken about it. How does your body feel? How do you feel going into this final week of the season with that extra week?
I feel like I feel good. There's different bumps and bruises over the course of the year, but I feel good. Feel ready to go and get to the last game of the year. I prefer we just stayed at 16 games. That would have been really smart. But as we know, a lot of these decisions aren't up to me personally. So
as you prepare for the last game of the year, it's an opponent you're familiar with, just playing them 2 weeks ago. What kind of goes into that preparation where you're so familiar with this? Spending so much time watching tape, practicing, developing a game plan.
Yep.
Does that give you sort of an advantage going into them and playing them so soon again?
I think for both teams, it's pretty much the same. It's what you make of it. And the guys, they know us pretty well. You're obviously studying us pretty hard and then playing us, so it's pretty familiar, just one game in between. And we feel the same way, but you don't take it for granted. You got to still put the same amount of prep in, same amount of work on the practice field, film. Got to review everything, communicate. From a schedule standpoint, it's basically the same. And you just treat it like a normal week, and get prepared, go out there and do the best job we can do.
You've had to deal with off-field distractions your entire career, different things that have happened.
I know. Can you believe that?
I can. What's the best way of handling this? What kind of advice do you give your teammates about just blocking out that noise?
Yeah, I've had lots of different things over a period of time. So I think what you always got to think of is the work is ahead of us. And the more you think about things that happened a year ago, 5 years ago, it just takes away from what we're trying to do this week. So the best you can focus on the job you have to do, and I know what I have to do. The team obviously counts on me to do a good job with what I'm doing. And, the more I can focus on that, the better it is. So that's what I've tried to do this week. That's what I tried to do last week, tried to do the week before. I owe that to my teammates, my coaches, my family, and just want to go out there and do a great job.
Tom, when you lose guys like CG, when you lose Brown, when you lose Lenny for a while, it's hard to replace them, right? But do you embrace like the puzzle that you have to put together? That cerebral part of the game that we got to do it different every week, maybe every year. As a quarterback, is that something that it's necessary, right? But you're good at it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different traits that make great teams, and it's not just physical skill. I've been a part of a lot of teams that weren't the most physically gifted, but found ways to get the job done. And you get them done different ways, and sometimes it's a little more defense, sometimes it's a little more offense, sometimes a little more run game, sometimes a little more pass game. Sometimes it's turnovers, sometimes it's red area stops, sometimes it's kicking game. The goal is to get the job done and to win the game. That's what we're here to play for. We're here to win. And, however you win, whether it's 3-0 or whether it's 43-40, that's what we're playing for. So we'd love every game to be 55-0. It's not the reality of sports or football. You're not going to win every play. You're not going to win every quarter. You're not going to win every half. But at the end of the game, like last game, we led for 15 seconds. So I was part of a game where in a Super Bowl we didn't lead for any part of the game, but we won the game. So it's a lot of determination, resilience. I think a lot of people, discount those things because they just look at physical skill and think that's the only thing that really matters. But, I think a lot of the intangibles that you see are equally as important as how physically gifted you are, the scheme you'll run. Resilience, determination, discipline, mental and physical toughness are critical to winning games.
What are the keys to getting those guys confident? Guys like Cyril Grayson, Rashad Perriman, and Tyler Johnson that are stepping up into these bigger shoes. What's key to getting them confident? I know that you give them a lot of feedback, but how much are you also relying on their feedback for you?
Yeah, both. It doesn't matter what I think. It's what we do together and what we're seeing together. So. Again, it's you have new players that you're trying to adjust to, and we've got to do a great job, and we've got to communicate, and we've got to spend time on the field together and meetings. And fortunately, we're all in there together all the time, so we're talking all the time about different routes and different coverages and how we're going to make routes successful. And it's a year-long process. So now that I'm in year 2 of it, it gets better and better. So. Hopefully we keep it going. Thank you, guys.